All right, good evening. I call a regular meeting to order at 6 p.m. and I announce that the board met in closed session and took action on 3 of the 8 items. With respect to action 1, the board has not directed legal counsel to initiate litigation at this time. Item 4, the board took action 7-0 to approve a separation agreement with a classified employee. And number 7, the Board of Education took action 7-0 to approve the following administrative appointment: Gabrielle Bree Bahar, Principal for Catherine Albiani Middle School. Also would like to announce that today's meeting is being video recorded and will be available on the district YouTube channel. There are blue cards available right outside the boardroom for anyone who wishes to address the board. If you wish to address the board, complete a card and hand it to a staff member at the table to my right. Please be sure to complete the card indicating whether the matter you wish to address is on the agenda or not on the agenda. If the matter is on the agenda, we'll assume that you wish to speak when it comes time to address the item on the agenda, and we will hold your card until then. I'm going to make a quick little announcement. At the start of each one of our meetings, we always have a special moment in which an education partner leads us in the Pledge of Allegiance. That's always a special moment. When the person's doing it as a friend, it's a real special moment. Tonight, we're going to recognize Sandy Perez, our education partner at Franklin High School. Sandy is being recognized certainly as a strong education partner at Franklin High School, but also as a strong partner in the city of Elk Grove, in the community of Franklin, as a foster parent for children from abroad, and as a great mom. I'd like to have Sandy and her family come up, along with Chantel Albiani and Miss Nancy Chiris Espinosa. Will have some nice words to discuss.
Welcome. Come on up to the podium. So it's my pleasure to read some nice things that folks at Elk Grove High have had to say about you, Sandy. Elk Grove Unified School District is honored to recognize Sandra Abufares for her outstanding support of Franklin High School. Sandra and her children, Layla, 15, Joey, 13, and Jocelyn, 11, have been active within the Franklin High School community for the past 3 years. Sandra is an exceptionally devoted supporter of all things Wildcat, which includes just about every group, sport, or club on Franklin High School's campus. What is exceptional is that Sandra does not just support her children and their interests, she literally supports all of Franklin High School. She has served as the school's Booster Club president for the past 2 years and has taken it in a new direction. Her dedication to the staff and students is unparalleled. Her thoughtfulness and appreciation for the community is top-notch. In addition to the support that Sandra offers at Franklin High School, she volunteers at both Toby Johnson Middle School and Arlene Hine Elementary School, where her younger children attend. Sandra is an outstanding contributor to this. Was an outstanding contributor to the successful Measure M campaign, from coordinating volunteers to providing meals for the phone bank volunteers, to going out into the community to spread the word. She works closely with the Elk Grove Police Department to organize safety events and gather donations to help students within our community. She's also highly involved in Elk Grove's Relay for Life, where she helps spread awareness and raise money for the American Cancer Society. If there is a community event in Elk Grove, Sandy is most likely involved with it, or is helping to find people to be involved with it. Outside of volunteering, she and her family enjoy going on vacations to Hawaii, to Disneyland, or wherever their hearts desire. Sandy always puts her children and their family first and wants to spend as much time as possible with them. Sandy truly exemplifies what it means to be a dedicated volunteer. Her tireless efforts have ensured that the staff and students at Franklin are treated with appreciation. Volunteers like Sandy help make Franklin High School the second happiest place on earth. The Board of Education is pleased to recognize Sandra Abufarez's many contributions to Franklin High School and the Elk Grove Unified School District. Do you want to lead us in the pledge?
Stand. Salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, and now we have
As I walk down there,
things for you.
please come up if you'd like to make some comments. Just grab the microphone.
I'm so nervous. I just wanted to say that not just myself, but all the parents that volunteer in Elk Grove, it's just a mere reflection of everything that you do, from our superintendents to our school board, our teachers, and our administration. You know, everything that we do is just in, gratitude and appreciation for everything that you do for our kids. So this is just a small token of, my appreciation for everything that you do. You can always count on me. Thank you.
There we go. All right, tonight we have high school representative reports from Franklin High School and Sheldon High School, and we will begin with Franklin.
Good evening, President Forcina, members of the board, Superintendent Hoffman, and Ms. Savalas. My name is Emily Stock.
And my name is Jasmine Beauperay.
Franklin has had a busy past few months, and an even busier last 2 months of the school year are quickly approaching.
Our spring sports are off to a great start. Our swim teams have been working hard in the pool and have fared well in the competitive Delta League. Last week, our boys team defeated a tough Davis team in a dual match, and our women's team has done quite well, with several standout performances. Our baseball team opens league play today versus Grant. The baseball team is currently ranked number 5 in the area by the Sacramento Bee. In softball, the ladies Wildcats are currently 2-2 in Delta League play, with wins over Grant and Monterey Trails last week. And our golf team is currently 3rd in league play as they prepare for the next Delta League play match on April 17th.
The Wildcat track and field team is doing great this season. Last week at the prestigious Stanford Invitational, Franklin did very well. Senior Jordan Tillis won the 400 with a time of 48.12, a new school record, and senior Xavier Weaver placed second in the 800. In addition to these standout individual performances, the Wildcat track team also won the boys 4x100 meter relay and took second in the boys 4x400 meter relay.
Franklin Theater Company held 7 performances of their spring musical Mary Poppins, with 5 sold-out performances. With spectacular special effects, several characters took flight on the stage. Franklin is the first school in the Elk Grove district to have performers fly in a production. Appearing on Good Day Sacramento, the cast of Mary Poppins brought the moving story of family to the local community. The show is also nominated for several Rita Moreno Awards. FTC is also in the middle of showcasing their children's theater show, Cinderella, performing in front of hundreds of elementary school students every day.
Last week, Franklin students participated in Lipped Up, a lip sync video featuring the students, clubs, and faculty of Franklin. Hundreds of students showed up early in the morning to be a part of this school-wide activity, showcasing all of the amazing things at Franklin. The video will be available at the end of the week, and we know you all will want to see it. Last Friday, Franklin students filled the gym decked out in neon clothes for the Blacklight Rally. Students enjoyed performances by Fusion, Cheer, Drumline, Polly and Haka, and also participated in some fun games and activities.
This week is the Festival of the Arts, where students and staff have the opportunity to showcase all of Franklin's talent in both visual and performing arts. Students will present their artwork and talent with performances by band, fusion, theater, and vocal programs. Franklin's Drumline and Color Guard both took home wins at the Winter Drumline and Guard Championships. Drumline won first place in the Scholastic Division, and Guard won second place in the Advanced Division.
Senior Ball is this weekend, and the theme is a night in New York. The last few weeks, seniors have been going all out with creative promposals, competing for first, second, and third place. Over 600 students are attending this Saturday night's event and are sure to have a great time. Seniors are looking forward to the great variety of food and desserts, photo booths, spectacular decorations, and lively music to show off their dance moves on the dance floor. Franklin's dance team, Fusion, recently went to nationals, performing 3 dances, taking home 2 awards. On April 29th, Fusion is hosting their annual senior showcase, where the senior members will close their season with one final performance. We invite the board to attend.
As May quickly approaches, the seniors will be soaking up every minute of their last few weeks through senior activities and events, including the senior trip to Disneyland, senior picnic at Sunsplash, senior goodbye rally, and the senior sunset, where all the class of 2017 will spend one last time together before graduation. Graduation is on May 24th, and seniors are anticipating walking across the stage at Golden One Center. Sober Grad Night will be at Strikes that evening, where the graduates can enjoy food, bowling, arcade games, and so much more.
February, we held an African American male empowerment workshop, coordinated by our Vice Principal, Ms. Lewis Jones, where students attended a variety of breakout sessions and listened to an amazing panel of speakers. We had almost 100 students attend, and everyone had a great time. The juniors will be taking the SBAC test the week we return from spring break, where we are confident they will do very well. The sophomores will also be testing that week, taking the CAS science test.
With the start of May comes the beginning of AP tests for Franklin students. Franklin will be giving 34 different advanced placement tests, lasting 2 full weeks. President Forcina, members of the board, Superintendent Hoffman, and Ms. Avlos, we thank you for your time and consideration this evening.
I am a senior this year, so I will not be reporting to you next year. Right now, I am deciding between attending UC Davis and Cal Poly. I plan on majoring in human development with the goal of graduating in 4 years and attending grad school for my credential in elementary teaching and a master's in education. I have enjoyed the opportunity to have been reporting to you for the past 2 years. Thank you for the wonderful experience.
I have enjoyed this wonderful experience of reporting to the board this year, and I'm looking forward next year to continue reporting as my final year at Franklin. Thank you for your time this year, and I'm excited to see you next year.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Sheldon High School.
Good evening, President Forcina, members of the board, Superintendent Hoffman, and Ms. Avalos. My name is Nick Garcia, and I'm currently the ASB President at Sheldon High School.
My name is Amato Tani, and I'm currently the ASB Vice President.
The school year is coming to an end, but the Huskies aren't slowing down anytime soon. On March 15th, our junior class cleaned up nicely and all came out looking all swell in their gowns and tuxedos to the City of Lights themed prom on March 31st. we Huskies partook in an energy conservation event where we turned off the lights for our annual Black Light Rally. The energy-efficient fun continued into the night with our annual casual blacklight dance. The Sheldon students proved that not only they could glow literally, but they also proved to do figuratively at our 4th Renaissance barbecue. With more than half of the student population qualifying for Renaissance with a 3.0 or a 0.5 increase in their GPA. It became clear that Sheldon campus is effectively combating, if not immune to the effects of summeritis.
Speaking of our campus as a whole, Sheldon High School hosted our annual Multicultural Assembly on March 17th. The concept of this year's assembly was using flags to unify all the different cultures on campus. We spray painted designs onto flags, and then those flags were used for our collaboration performance. The assembly was a huge success. All of our students, staff, and parents who came to our night show loved the assembly. Some were even moved to tears by performances. On March 5th, the Sheldon High School Science Olympiad team competed at the regional competition held at Mira Loma High School. The team took second place, earning medals in 17 of the 23 events. The team earned themselves a trip to the state competition at CSU Stanislaus. This past Saturday, on April 1st, we can proudly say that the team took 12th place out of 28 teams that qualified for the tournament. Congratulations to our Science Olympiad team, their coach Kelly Cosney, as well as their science department at Sheldon High School for the hours of tutoring and test preparation.
Our Sheldon students are pretty much the whole package. Not only are we smart and good looking, but also athletic. Our men's soccer team had their most successful season ever this year. They went all the way to the Sac-Joaquin sectional finals and lost a close championship game to Jesuit High School. In addition to our men's soccer team's great season, our men's basketball team also had a tremendous season. They not only reached the Sac-Joaquin section finals, but also the open division finals for all of NorCal. We'd also like to congratulate both men's soccer and basketball and on their fantastic seasons. We are very proud of what they have accomplished this season. Sheldon's Visual and Performing Arts Department has also been having a marvelous year, or at least what's left of it. Our Sheldon Theater Department is also getting ready to perform their spring musical, the 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. They have been practicing every day for months and would like to invite you all to come watch the productions that begin this weekend. I would also like to say that our advanced animation class is getting the opportunity to go to professional studios like Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon in order to show off some of the work that we have done.
Sheldon is home to many musical artists as well. Two of our very own band members, Jamie Guzman and Ryan Kang, were accepted into the Capital Section Honor Band that was held last January. In addition, Miss Guzman was accepted into the All-Northern Honor Band and distinguished herself as one of the top 12 flute players in Northern California. Although the end of the year is coming fast, there are still many more upcoming events such as our Goodbye Rally, Final Renaissance Barbecue, and Senior Bowl. And finally, as we end off our year with graduation and saying goodbye to our Sheldon High School class of 2017. I'm happy to inform you all that this concludes our presentation. However, I'm sad to inform you all that this will be our final presentation as representatives of Sheldon High School. Thank you again for your time and hope you all have a great rest of the evening for all the rest of the evenings you will continue to have.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Also would like to recognize our two principals, Ms. Chantel Albiani, Principal, Franklin High School, and Paula Duncan, Principal, Sheldon High School. Okay, students, you're free to go whenever you choose. Thank you. Next, I would like to call on Mr. Mark Cerruti. Oh, excuse me, Mark. Hold it. My mistake. Rod Edmondson. And Tony Perez will be joining him.
President Forcina, members of the school board, Superintendent Hoffman, Ms. Avalos. Tonight I am honored to introduce to you a very special team, the Cosumnes Oaks Boys High School Soccer Team. The Cosumnes Oaks High School Boys Soccer Team won their third CIF Division II Sac-Joaquin Section Championship over the past 4 years. This group of young men finished the season with an overall record of 21 wins, 4 losses, and 3 ties, while being ranked 18th in the state of California and ranked 64th in the country. In capturing their section championship, they went into the playoffs as number 3 seed. They defeated Lodi 3-0 in a penalty kick shootout. Then they defeated Napa 2-0. And then number 2 seeded Ponderosa they defeated 4-3 in another exciting penalty kick shootout. In the championship game, they defeated Gregory 2-0. With that, it is my honor to introduce to you head coach Alejandro Murillo Chavez of the 2016-17 Sac-Joaquin section champion Cosumnes Oaks boys soccer team, who will announce his team.
This way? Good evening. First of all, I would like to thank the school district for recognizing our boys for their accomplishment, and with the boys, with all their parents and their teachers and their friends that have invested in their life since they were like very, very small. All right. Let me introduce the my assistant coaches. First, Matthew Stephen. BV Assad. Now we'll introduce our players. First, Saif Adasi. Logan Christensen. Logan was one of our captains. Jeffrey Dresser. Gabriel Essex. Leighton Glim. Garrett Hope. Nabil Idris. Jonathan Kim. James Mantz. Bradley Morehouse. One of our another captains, RJ Morehouse. Alejandro Parra. Joseph Petrisor. Ken Stone. Isaac Torres. Devin Sumura. Juan Zamora. And our manager, Esteban Harkin.
Also like to recognize Principal from Cosmic Oaks High School, Maria Osborne, and Vice Principal Matt Wynn.
Parents, you can come closer.
Spouses, you can come closer to take pictures too if you want.
That's true.
Okay, thank you, CO Soccer. Thanks, Rod.
Okay, thank you.
He's part of CO Soccer. That's all inclusive. I didn't call anybody by name. Oh. I am CO. Had to get that one in there, huh? I am CO. And now, Mark Cerruti, Public Schools Month.
Good evening, President Forcina, members of the board, Superintendent Hoffman, and Ms. Avalos. The Board of Education is respectfully requested to consider the resolution number 67 that proclaims April 2017 as Public Schools Month in the Elk Grove Unified School District. During the 1920s, the Free and Accepted Masons of California initiated the annual recognition of the role that public schools play in our communities. Since then, the state of California has designated April as Public Schools Month. The purpose of Public Schools Month is to encourage communities to set aside time to honor our public schools and to enlist the community's continued support for public education. Elk Grove has a rich and successful history of community engagement and support.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to
So
approve
moved.
Resolution 67? Approved by Ms. Singh Allen, second by Ms. Chavez Espinosa. All in favor?
Aye.
And it is
Thank you.
passed. Thank you. All right, next resolution is the Greater Elk Grove Area History Resolution Week. I call on Zante Pinkerton.
Good evening, Board President Forcina, members of the board, Superintendent Mr. Hoffman, and Ms. Avalos. Because the Elk Grove Unified School District supports the mission to preserve the history of the city of Elk Grove, and because the Linda May Mahone Lima Foundation, a nonprofit organization that researches, documents, records and preserves and publishes the personal histories of the greater area of Elk Grove, the board is requested to approve resolution number 70 to support the Greater Elk Grove Area History Week in the pursuit of such designation by the County of Sacramento, the City of Elk Grove, and the Elk Grove Historical Society, designating the last week of September annually as the Greater Elk Grove Area History Week.
Thank you, Zante. Before I ask for a motion, I'd like to call on Mr. David Lima.
Mr. President and Board. I am David Lima, and I'm the chairman of the Linda May Mahan Lima Foundation. There's a dispute between the Irish and Scottish version of that name. And it goes on because there's Nan Mahan, as you know, and it's spelled the same way but pronounced differently. Thank you for considering this resolution. The foundation, let me give you just a quick overview of what we do. As mentioned, our primary objective is capturing the oral histories of the area, and as well as capturing new, we're also preserving existing recordings. And one of the biggest collections that we're really proud to be working with is Mrs. Pinkerton's collection, who over 40 years has been recording interviews, either her students or herself, for her research, etc. And what we do from those recordings is we produce podcasts, because our motto is history into the future. And so we're committed to using the mediums of today and the culture of today to capture short bites of history and produce those podcasts and distribute those podcasts to a wider audience, and hopefully a younger audience that would be more captivated in an earlier stage in their life by the history of the area. Our second objective is to have an annual dinner and an annual performance, a live performance, where we will reenact one of the characters or events from the history of the events that we have recorded in the previous year. And I should say that this is a play reading. It's not a full stage production, but it relies heavily upon the students of the Sheldon High School Visual and Performing Arts program. As a matter of fact, my daughter is a graduate of that program. She wrote and produced and directed last year's performance. She is currently writing this year's performance. All of the actors were graduates of the Sheldon High School Visual and Performing Arts program from last year, and will be again this year, assuming that we can get them off in their assignments. They're scattered all over the world in the business of the entertainment business. It's really surprising what these young people have done. And I would encourage you, if you have an opportunity, to join us this fall, September 30th, for our annual dinner. It'll be held at the Willow Ballroom in Hood, California, a historic complex in itself. Our third objective is to advocate for a history week. And so if you were to adopt the resolution this evening, you will join 11 or 12 other governmental or nonprofit enterprises throughout South County in declaring the last week in September as the Greater Elk Grove Area History Week. Our final and fourth objective is to develop and make available a student internship program and a student scholarship program for students of the visual and performing arts programs of this district. That's going to take us 2 or 3 years to actually develop that, principally because it's going to take us that much time to raise that kind of money to endow a perpetual scholarship.
Mr. Lima, I'm sorry, I have to ask you to wrap up.
Yep, thank you. And that's really my comment right there. Thank you for the opportunity. I was at the end of my...
Can I ask one question, Mr. Chair?
Yes.
You mentioned a podcast.
Yeah.
Are those publicly available yet? Or can you tell us where those are
We
available?
post them on our website. We have an inventory of them. We release a few of them each week. As a matter of fact, in the next couple of days, we'll be releasing 7 new podcasts. All of them are Mrs. Pinkerton's latest presentation of history that she made to the Historic Society about a month ago. But we'll release a few of those each month as we go through the year.
And where do we find those on the web?
lmmlfoundation.org.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Zante. I'd like to call for a motion to approve Resolution 70, which declares the last week in September as the Greater Elk Grove Area History Week. We have it moved by Ms. Albiani, second by Mr. Perez. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the resolution passes. Thank you. Okay, and the next resolution is for National School Library Week, and I call Ms. Tina Penna.
Thank you and good evening, President Forcina, members of the board, Superintendent Hoffman, and Ms. Avalos. Dr. Kevel and I are here to co-present this evening, and tonight we request that the board approve resolution number 62, proclaiming April 9th through 15th, 2017 as National School Library Week, and also we ask the board to recognize our teacher librarians and library technicians who are present here this evening. This national observance was first initiated in 1958 by the American Library Association to celebrate the contributions of our nation's libraries and to promote library use and support of all types of libraries, including school libraries, public libraries, and academic libraries. Library staff inspire students and families to discover the world through collections, digital resources, and most recently through innovations such as maker spaces and even a library of things that is housed at a local Sacramento Public Library. It goes without saying that library staff also provide help with homework, with job searches, and with research. Annually, National Library Week is celebrated throughout the month of April, and libraries host special events to highlight the unique roles that libraries play in people's lives. This year's theme is Libraries Transform. Celebrations occurring across the nation during National Library Week will include National Library Workers Day on April 11th and National Bookmobile Day on April 12th.
This evening, we ask that special recognition be extended to Elk Grove Unified School District libraries during the week of April 9 to 15, 2017. It is essential to continue to acknowledge the valuable contributions of all library workers, including librarians, school support staff, and several others who make library services possible for our students. Libraries are many things to many people and continue to evolve to meet the needs of communities that they serve. I'd like to acknowledge some of our library technicians who are here to represent the elementary division. Please come forward. Joan Streeters from Cosumnes River Elementary. Bethany Payne from C.W. Dillard Elementary. Harry Kuntz from Elk Grove Elementary. Michelle Rebendorf from Ficat Elementary.
And at the secondary level, we are very pleased that the following library technicians and teacher librarians were able to join us tonight. First, Nancy Bartow from Edward Harris Jr. Middle School, library technician. Karen Meyer, teacher librarian from Samuel Jackman Middle School. Lee Hernandez, library technician from Monterey Trail High School. Danielle Van Summeren, the teacher librarian from Pleasant Grove High School. And Nicole Strange, the library technician from Pleasant Grove High School. So we're very pleased that all of them could be here tonight in honor of the board acting on this resolution.
Thank you. Before I call for a motion, Bethany, you want to say a few words? Would you come up, please?
Good evening, President Forcina, members of the board, Superintendent Hoffman, Ms. Avalos. Thank you for giving us a chance to speak this evening. Thank you for considering recognizing School Library Week. The library is really important to every community, but it's not as important to anybody as it is to our schools. The school library serves many, many functions. When we think of the school library, if you asked a parent, they would say immediately, oh, books and reading. But if you asked a teacher would say, oh, instructional materials, support for projects and things in the classroom. And if you ask some of my students, they would say it's a safe place to go when they're feeling uncomfortable at recess or when they're feeling like they don't want to play outside today. It provides many things to my school. At Dillard, it's a hub. There are a lot of things that go on in the library, and a lot of them address different aspects of learning. From a district perspective, we provide textbook support. At my small school, we serve about 480 students, and I'm responsible for about $300,000 worth of tract materials, and I'm not sure how many more dollars worth of consumable materials. And that's a tremendous amount for the district. I mean, if you think about that multiplied by all our elementary schools, that's a lot of financial responsibility. And so I understand why when we go to our library tech meetings, they talk about the fiscal aspect. We focus on textbooks. But when I see my students, the importance, it's clear. The most important function that I serve is reading, and especially at the elementary level. This is when we can reach them. This is when they really begin to learn to read, and the school library has probably one of the greatest importances across the board, because there have been a lot of studies that have shown that the most important way that we can enhance a student's reading ability, outside of just teaching them the mechanics in the classroom, their sight words, their phonics, is by giving them agency, the ability to choose the book that they want to read, not by standing over them as a parent or a teacher and saying, here, read this, but by giving them the ability to choose on their own. Reading those things is what enhances their ability to read, which is why we use programs like Accelerated Reader and Scholastic Reading Counts. And the school library is where they can do that most freely. We've got students whose parents will take them to the public library, and they can do those things there with those parents. We have also a lot of students whose parents never take them to the public library. So for those students, it's extra important. That agency is the thing that most gives them that increase in reading skill. And right now, with the adoption of Common Core, reading skill is more important than it's ever been before. If you've opened our Go Math book, you understand that now math is reading. If you looked at word problems, you know, when we were in school, we always thought, well, when are the train problems ever going to matter? But that's actual real life math. As we've gotten older, we've realized that that's how math applies to real life, and that's how Common Core is addressing real life math problems. But to do that, to be successful with that, they need to learn to read. They need to be successful readers. They need to be confident readers. And here in the library, we support that. We give them those skills. Science curriculum is reading based. Social studies has always kind of been reading based, but more so than ever as they learn to navigate their nonfiction texts and those things. We teach them those things in the library. We give them the skills to find those things outside of our school library, how to find those things in the public library. So now is the time when we need to stand behind our school libraries with School Library Week, but also with funding and with the recognition that this is the place where reading begins and where reading is nurtured. Thank you.
Thank you, Bethany. All right, I call for a motion to approve Resolution Number 62, proclaiming April 9th to the 15th, 2017 as National School Library Week.
So moved?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, approved. Thank you. All right, thank you. Okay, next item is student expulsion recommendation. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to address the board in closed session regarding a student expulsion recommendation? Okay, hearing none, I call for a motion to approve the request for student expulsions. Moved by Mr. Madison, second by Mr. Perez. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No. It passes. Thank you. Okay, we have no cards for public comment. Consent agenda.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the consent agenda items 1 through 13.
Okay, we have a motion, seconded by Ms. Singh Allen. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, it approves. It's passed. Thank you. Okay, no LCAP update tonight, no budget update tonight, no facilities update tonight. Bargaining units, is there anyone wishing to speak tonight? Okay, thank you.
Amen.
No reports. Okay, public hearing action items, consideration and public notice of CSEA's initial proposal to the district regarding collective bargaining for the 2017-2018 school year. Mr. Riley.
Good evening, President Forcina, members of the board, Superintendent Hoffman, Ms. Avalos. The Elk Grove Unified School District Governing Board is asked to review the California School Employees Association initial proposal to Elk Grove Unified School District for the 2017-2018 collective bargaining. Pursuant to Government Code Section 3547, the following are stipulated for negotiations between a bargaining unit and the district. The union's initial proposal is officially presented at a public meeting of the Governing Board for public notice, and a public hearing is conducted to receive public input regarding the union's initial proposal. CSEA's initial proposal is attached. It is recommended that after the closure of the public hearing, the board take action to accept CSEA's initial proposal.
All right, thank you. I call for public hearing to receive input regarding CSEA initial proposal to the school district. Any comments? Okay, hearing none, I close the public hearing. I call for a motion to accept the proposal.
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Chivers Espinoza, second Mr. Madison. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approves? Passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, discussion item, we have College Readiness Block Grant. Ms. Kathy Hamilton.
It was just resting.
All week.
Good evening, Mr. Forcina, board members, Superintendent Hoffman, and Ms. Avalos. I'm here to talk to you tonight about the College Readiness Block Grant, a state 3-year grant to help fund our college-going initiatives. This is funded through June 30th, 2019. Our district is receiving $150 per student. The state also issued $75,000 for small schools, particularly charter schools. And so Elk Grove Charter School will be receiving that $75,000 grant. Our district total will be over $1.5 million. This grant can be used to support activities that demonstrate that they have a positive impact on student access and matriculation to higher education. There are a number of allowable uses. It's a very broad grant, not a lot of specific stipulations, but in general, we can use it for such activities as professional development around college prep and advancement. We could develop honors or AP courses. We could use it for counseling services related to college admission and financial aid. We could purchase instructional materials on this theme. We could invest in advisement plans to support A through G completion. We can use it to enhance our partnerships with our post-secondary partners. We can use it to subsidize fees for taking AP tests. We can use it for expanding access to coursework for A through G completion. And this is probably not an exclusive list. This is the guidelines that were included in the legislation and Ed Code to give us some ideas about what to do. The grant has very few requirements, but amongst those requirements are that we have to develop a plan, and it needs to be aligned to our LCAP. And so that's why I'm here tonight, is to tell you about our plan. We need to include in that plan a description of the extent to which students have access to A through G courses. We need to discuss it at a regularly scheduled board meeting, which is why I'm here, and then follow up at our next board meeting with adoption. And then we had to report the metrics that we will use to measure success to the Department of Ed. It's interesting to note that we do not have to submit our plan to the Department of Ed, but on January 1st, we had to submit these metrics. So we have identified metrics that we already collect and that we believe are the best indicators of the impact that we have on students' preparation for post-secondary advancement. And they include EAP passage, A through G completion, AP participation and scoring 3 or above, post-secondary enrollment and persistence, students actually having a college plan upon graduation, SAT or ACT preparation and scores, and a number of students who are earning early college credits through articulation agreements or dual enrollment agreements. So these are things that we will be looking at. We do not have to report the data that we collect to CDE. We just had to tell them how we will look at the success of this grant. In addition, so reporting out to you on our alignment with the LCAP, this grant and the work that we're going to do is very closely aligned to our district's strategic goal 1, which is that all students will receive high-quality classroom instruction and curriculum to promote college and career readiness. Furthermore, to report to you on student access to A through G courses, all 9 of our comprehensive high schools, as you know, have significant lists or catalogs of A through G courses. Students are able to access A through G courses in all of the subject areas that meet the UC requirement. 2 of our alternative education schools, Las Flores and Elk Grove Charter School, offer access to most A through G subject areas. The one that they don't have is lab science, and they refer students to CRC through a concurrent enrollment agreement to take that course. Our 3 continuation high schools do not offer access to A through G courses, but students are provided opportunities for concurrent enrollment at CRC if it meets their program of study. So what is our plan? For this, I'm going to be giving you 2 plans tonight. One is for the school district and the other is for Elk Grove Charter School. The district plan includes offering a fee waiver for AP tests for eligible students starting this spring and going through the spring of 2018 and 2019. And that will cost about $550,000 based on past practice. Historically, this fee waiver was offered through federal funds that are no longer available since the passage of the ESSA, the, what is it, Elementary and Secondary Success Act? Yeah. Secondly, we are going to invest about $625,000 in funding a 2-year pilot of the California College Guidance Initiative, which is a comprehensive technology-based college and career planning program that was developed by the Foundation of California Community Colleges in collaboration with UC, CSU, and the Independent Colleges of California. It provides curriculum, it provides planning tools that are accessible to counselors, teachers, students, parents, families. It provides automatic alignment and monitoring of A through G and puts that into format that colleges can access. Currently, it provides access to transcripts for students who are applying to CSU, so there can be electronic transfer of that information. And in the near future, hopefully that same resource will be available for community colleges and the UCs. So in addition to the licensing fees, we are funding a 2-year coordinator position, which will be a counselor on special assignment, and an additional 10% FTE for counselors at our comprehensive high schools for the first year of implementation, and teacher hourly for professional development. Our third component will be to support the implementation of PSAT for all in 2017-18 and 2018-19 at a cost of nearly $300,000. This will include licensing fees, the test administration in 10th grade, and middle school assessments of Ready Step and Explore. This is something that has been funded through the general fund the last few years, but because of changes in availability of funds from the state for LCFF, we're opting to put it into this grant for the next 2 years. Our fourth item, a little under $100,000, is to support the development of college and career preparation options at our 4 alternative education sites. We've had some robust conversations with the principals from those sites about how to best use this funding. We're looking at the possibility of either offering stipend or FTE for an individual to develop a plan, develop curriculum, increase opportunities for students to have field trips to colleges and explore careers, purchasing material, bringing in community assistants who can help with college and career planning. We're trying to look at a variety of options, but to develop a plan that will work and be sustainable ongoing for each of those 4 sites. And finally, we've also kept aside $10,000 that we hope we can use to compensate Elk Grove Unified School District teachers to collaborate with community college faculty, specifically CRC, to align courses in core academic areas such as English and math. Okay, Elk Grove Charter Schools plan includes participating in the district's CCGI pilot, but the bulk of their funding, $71,000, will go towards developing an annual program of college and career readiness instruction for both on-campus and off-campus activities. So again, there will be funding for a stipend for somebody to coordinate this effort, purchase of instructional materials once they are identified. Probably a major part of the cost will be transporting students to college sites and or local businesses for field trips to learn more about post-secondary education, and we hope whet their appetite for wanting to matriculate. Additionally, we'll have release time for teachers for planning and professional development, as well as registration and travel costs associated with professional development. And I think that's it. Yep. So those are the 2 plans. I'd like to know if you have questions or comments, and then, like I said, we'll be back in 2 weeks to seek your approval.
Thank you. Nancy?
First off, just wanted to thank you for finding a way to cover that gap in federal funding for the AP fees. That was a concern for me when I heard that the federal funds were not coming through. So at least for 3 years, we have a funding source here, and it's what, a $500,000 item that we get to figure out later how to cover. But it's a good use of these funds for now. I really like that you've come up with a plan that will benefit students in a different range of programs. So our AP students at comprehensive schools, our alternative ed students, our charter students. So I think it's very well rounded, particularly with the inclusion of the professional development element. So it looks like a well-rounded plan. Thank you.
Thank you. Tony?
Yes, I also echo my fellow board members' comments, and also I like the fact that we're having one more full-time equivalent on each high school. That's very good, because I know our counselors need help. And the only suggestion I like, or maybe it's a question, is that can we get more support for our students when they fill out that actual financial aid package? Because I notice on some high schools, their participation rates or the paperwork is different levels of completion. So is that possibly an issue we could address with this monies? These funds?
It's something that we can look into. We would have to go back to our high schools and find out how that could best be addressed, and then we would have to shift funds from somewhere else. I also just want to point out that we don't have a full-time FTE for the sites. It's only a 10% FTE for the sites. We have one full-time coordinator district-wide.
Oh, I thought I was, oh,
Yes.
oh, again. What
And
is
Mr. Perez, I also wanted to address the FAFSA completion. We actually were part of a pilot with the federal government a few years ago, and we were recognized as a model for FAFSA completion. I do understand that there are different rates of completion at each site, but our district head counselor, Ralph Robles, works with each of our counselors, and we do offer workshops, hands-on workshops, to actually take parents and students step by step through that FAFSA completion. So I'm not sure, we certainly can look in to see how we can increase our participation rate. I'm not sure that it would come from this source of funding, however.
Okay. Other than that, great plan.
Thank you. Crystal?
I echo the comments in regards to the plan, really thorough, like the way it's laid out. Just a few comments. I think this works really hand in hand directly when we're looking at our community college system. Right now, they're specifically at Consumnes River College, they're offering a first-year experience program, and so they're focusing on getting the high school students in a pathway clearly to complete within a timeline. And so again, I think this goes hand in hand as far as a transition when we're talking about higher education and the importance of the goals. Again, I go back to the access for all, how important that is, and the access to the AP exams, etc. And I really like to see how it's implemented as far as the pilot program right now with our district and Consumnes River, the multiple measures, being able to place students, maybe if they don't score as highly in the early assessment placement for math or English, but being able to place them a level higher if needed, if necessary, based off their high school transcripts. So again, continue with the good work. I'm looking forward to the thorough report back and the feedback on how things are being operated, but thank you for that report.
Hey, Bobby?
Thank you. I love grants. It's a great opportunity for our students. I'm already worried in terms of 2019. You know, I mean, I know this is going to be a tremendous success, and how do we sustain that? So I'm already thinking, you know, years out because the need will still be there for our students. I am curious in terms of the EGUSD plan. How did you, was this through a committee or a group, you know, how did you come up with the monies associated with each allocation? Did we include our teachers and other, you know, bargaining unit members? Was it your department? Just curious how we got to where these numbers came from.
That's a great question, and I'm sorry I skipped over that part. We did have a process. You know, to be honest, the first thing was the AP fee waiver. You know, once we learned that that was no longer available last fall, and then all of a sudden this money was available, that was just kind of a no-brainer that we had to start there. But then with the remaining funds, which was about $1 million, we went through several layers of conversations and discussions with different stakeholders. So including secondary education administrators. Ralph Robles also played a key role in this. We took it to secondary principals on multiple occasions. We took it to the alternative principals separately to have deeper conversations. We formed a subcommittee of leadership from secondary administrators, did some surveying of options. We had discussions with the superintendent. So we really tried to identify the key areas of need, and that's how this was ultimately crafted.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Chet?
Yeah, I think she already answered one of my questions because I had that written down. Ms. Singh Allen, she asked a question that I had on the process part and how did you develop and who was involved. So, yeah, I'm excited about the program. I think it's a good block grant. Again, seeing how we're going to sustain that moving forward. And also I'd like, in terms of the progress, or is there a plan there where we'll get feedback on the results on?
Well, the metrics that we've identified are already part of our LCAP, but we can certainly go ahead and try to isolate that in terms of the impact that this grant played, and make sure that that's part of what is communicated in the annual LCAP reporting. So that hopefully
Okay.
we can see that this grant did have an impact.
Right, and specifically our 9 comprehensive high schools and the 2, the breakdown, and see how we are making progress.
Yep, it's part of the 3-year data tracking that there's nothing in the metrics for this grant that is not already in our LCAP metrics. So we should be able to look at the next 3 years of that, hopefully see progress, and be able to determine that this grant helped impact that progress.
Good, I'm looking forward to it, seeing some of the reports. Thank you.
Beth?
Hi, thanks. When we say 3-year grant, we planned in 16, 17, it'll be 17, 18, and 18, 19 that we're spending the money. Is that what I understand?
We have the money now. We just haven't spent any of it yet.
No, we're being very careful on how we do that.
We had to get your approval on the plan before we started spending, but anticipating your approval in 2 weeks, we do intend to start using the fee waivers in May of this year.
Okay, for this year's AP test then?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And as soon as my colleagues in fiscal services have developed the budget upon your approval, we will post the position to hire the coordinator for the CCGI. I will be back in either 2 weeks or 4 weeks to tell you about the CCGI. So these things are all layering. We have to do one thing and then the next. But we're eager to get that implementation moving forward as well. So.
Okay, it sounds great, and I think it's very exciting how it just lines up to our LCAP and shows that we are very united towards one goal, and we're going to find the way to get to that. So, thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Kathy. All right, no discussion action items. Next one is designation of applicant's agent resolution for non-state agencies. Shannon Hayes.
Good evening, President Forcina, members of the board, Superintendent Hoffman, and Ms. Avalos. The storms event of January 3rd through the 12th have been federally declared a disaster. Therefore, we are requesting the approval of resolution number 68 to allow myself and the Director of Fiscal Services, Ms. Carrie Hargis, to submit a request for public assistance, and upon approval, submit requests for reimbursement for the costs incurred for the period of the disaster.
Thank you. Any questions of Shannon? Nothing on my left, nothing on my right. Okay, then
I do have a question. Because I didn't see, like, what site, what is the what are we talking about? In terms of the damage on the sites, it's not spelled out in the resolution.
No, it is not. So this resolution just allows Carrie and I to submit the request.
Okay.
But we've been working with police services and maintenance and grounds, and both departments have delineated costs, mostly personnel costs. There were other costs, obviously, in the grounds and maintenance and custodial that we're submitting. So right now, the cost that we've accumulated is approximately $100,000 that we would be seeking reimbursement for. So the building damages and stuff, I think, are still being determined through facilities, and I'm not sure what to the extent that has happened. But we can look at buildings, we can look at staff time, we can look at anything that was attached to that period of time.
Good, all right. That's it.
Okay, then I call for motion to approve resolution 68, designation of applicant's agent resolution for non-state agencies.
Second it.
Second. All approved?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Shannon. Okay, money time. We have Series 2017 bonds, consideration of a resolution providing for the issuance and sale of general obligation bonds, election of 2016, Series 2017 of Elk Grove Unified School District in the aggregate principal amount of not to exceed $82,100,000. Mr. Pierce.
Thank you, President Forcina, members of the board, Superintendent Hoffman, Ms. Avalos. Certainly an exciting time for the district and for the school board with regard to Measure M with the resolution that is before you tonight. You know this is a follow-up to your March 21st board meeting, whereby Ms. Lori Ranieri gave you a detailed presentation on our bond financing and structuring plan. So obviously with the approval of Measure M, the electorate authorized the district to issue bonds not to exceed $476 million. Consistent with the district's facility master plan, the district is now in a position to consider the first sale of bonds. The resolution before you will issue that first series, or at least give us authorization to proceed. Joining me to my right is Mr. Dan Maruccio with Lozano Smith. He is our bond counsel, and he's here to answer any questions that you might have in detail about the resolution that's before you. In addition to authorizing the sale of the bonds via competitive bid process, we will be using the negotiated sale statutes. The resolution also sets the maximum amount of bonds, as Mr. Forcina read, not to be issued exceeding $82,100,000, as well as the maximum interest rate at which the bonds can be issued, as well as the maximum compensation that any underwriter may earn on the bond sale. It also requests the county to levy taxes in order to pay the debt service on the bonds, prescribe certain terms and conditions of the bonds, including the payment dates, methods of interest calculation, the redemption and defeasance procedures. The resolution also approves Lozano Smith as bond counsel, as well as Government Financial Strategies as our financial advisor. Ms. Lori Ranieri is here tonight as well to answer any questions that you might have. It also approves in form various documents associated with the bond sale, and those are all attached in your packet tonight. Authorizes certain district officials, in fact it would be Superintendent Hoffman and myself as Deputy Superintendent, to execute the final versions of the documents that are in your packet tonight. In order to be transparent, I did want to bring to your attention Mr. Kolker with Government Financial Strategies notice tonight. There appears to not necessarily be a typo, but perhaps in the upload to the agenda online, and I handed that out. The highlighted section was precluded or excluded from the packet that's in the agenda tonight. So I'd like the record to show that language. I will work with Ms. Avalos to ensure that happens. Again, it's just a short sentence that would need to be inserted into section 4A. I'm not too sure what happened there, but glad we caught that tonight. So with that, a lot of action in front of you. I know it's a lot of documentation to weed through, but we're looking forward to a tentative bond sale date of May 11th, 2017.
Thank you. Okay, before I call for motion to adopt Resolution 69, any questions or clarification? Hearing none, I call for a motion. Approved by Mr. Madison. Second by Ms. St. Allen. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? None. Go spend some money. Or go earn some money.
Yeah, go earn some money.
Thank you.
Don't spend.
All right, any board member reports consistent with committee work?
I've got one. Let's see, we did have the Safe and Positive Learning Committee meeting, and we have some draft language. We looked at a number of resolutions from several districts, including CSBA and the State Department of Education. So we looked at a number of them, and we have draft language that because we are a unique school district in that we firmly believe in collaboration, and other districts got to their resolutions, whatever process they use, but we pride ourselves in being collaborative. So the superintendent will be circulating that with our PI group to get support as well before we bring it back for formal adoption, if you will, so that they are the front lines for the most part in our schools, and I would love, and we as a group would love to have another set of eyes from other points of views to review it and make sure that it is something that truly represents our district. A lot of resolutions there reflective of their school environments. We like to think that we captured the essence of our district. So without giving too much away, because of Brown Act and whatever, that's just sort of a general update on where we are from that committee. I unfortunately I was not able to attend the other committee meeting that I'm sure Mr. Madison and Ms. Titus Espinosa will update regarding the Measure M subcommittee formation. So that is the only committee report I have officially.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, none?
On that?
Okay.
Question
Go.
on that?
Yeah.
just for clarification, did you say, so to which stakeholder groups are you circulating the draft?
Our partners in education, so it's EGEA, it's our bargaining unit.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. And the reason I ask is because Carmen and I had the opportunity to meet with our psychologists recently, and, you know, they...
So we met after, so they would not have seen it yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they obviously have a unique insight in dealing with
Yes.
the mental health aspect of some of these issues.
Yes.
Okay, awesome, thank you.
All right, thank you. Others? Okay.
Chet or I? Okay. So, as Bobby alluded, that Chet and I got together as part of the, I don't know what we're calling it, our
Measure M.
Measure M Bond Advisory
Citizen
Council,
Oversight
and I know
Committee.
that Bobby couldn't. Yes, and I know that Bobby couldn't make it, but submitted comments prior to that. So we met for a little while on Monday morning and got a great start on appointing members of our Bond Oversight Committee. We had 21 applicants, I think, for 7 positions, and I don't know, we're maybe about halfway there. We're most of the way there. We made a lot of decisions, and we also decided to call in some folks for very short interviews, so those folks will be notified if they haven't already that they're being invited to interview, and we hope to come back by our next board meeting and have those names for the board for consideration to appoint.
Okay.
Maybe May 2nd. I'm being optimistic.
Another date then for the second meeting?
Not set. So we are working on establishing that meeting. Yeah, we haven't set it yet.
Okay, okay. We were scheduled for Rancho Cordova 2x2, and unfortunately, due to weather, had to cancel that, so that 2x2 is being rescheduled. Okay, Chris.
So I'm just going to brag as a dad. So the youngest boy got accepted to UC Santa Barbara, has accepted and is on his way to being a gaucho. So it's a long way from home, but we're pretty proud of him. So.
Thank you. Okay, other items from the floor. Bobby.
Yes, I do have another item from the floor. I would like for the board to consider for the month of August, Muslim Awareness and Appreciation Month. It was adopted by our state legislature, as well as recognized by then President Obama nationally. It is held in the month of August, and I was actually surprised that we don't do this already, but better late than never. You know, just given sort of the climate right now with all of the intolerance, if you will, I think this is a good opportunity for our district to provide additional education, much needed awareness to combat sort of the ignorance and bullying and intolerance that may or may not be happening rapidly, but it's there. And the more education that we can provide on a very important group in our community, the better and stronger we are as a district. So I know that there is draft resolution language already in circulation. I would invite the superintendent to even perhaps reach out to Dr. Kevel as a member of CARE. You probably have some information that would be a good resource for us. But I have the resolutions are available at the state legislative sites and draft language as well. So it's already out there, nothing new for us other than recognizing and providing additional education for our community. Thank you.
Okay, other items? Tony? None tonight. Thank you. Then the meeting is adjourned.
I was going to say I went to go see Jones, Chef Jones. Had a showdown with Chef Jones.